This week on the Magee show, I'm joined by Warren and Tash Leggett. Now, Warren and Tash are the owner of premium removal service based in Worcester, Warren's Removals and Storage. We discussed many different things, how to grow a service-based business, how to work with social media influencers, because they're one of the very few removals companies that I've seen that have actually done it. And this interview was quite personal for me because not only is Warren a friend of mine, but we also own the same type of company. We're both in the removals business. But we'll go a step beyond that. Warren discusses how to use your social media to grow your business, run a team, how to incorporate your staff into your business and your brand's vision. But there was one thing that really struck me was their attitude to customer service and their attention to detail. Warren even goes to describe himself as being a little bit OCD, which has obviously served them very well because everything that they do looks absolutely perfect. But we also discuss other things such as, relationships and how to run a business together, how to bounce off each other's weaknesses and bounce off each other's strengths for that matter. So it was a really interesting interview. So if you're a service-based business owner or a business owner of any kind and you want to really grow your business and improve your service, this is the podcast for you. So without further ado, here they are, Warren and Tash Leggett. Warren and Tash Leggett, first of all, I really want to thank you guys for taking time off your holiday to come and chat to little old me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for the opportunity, mate.
Yeah, thank
Super.
you.
So just wanted to start. I know a lot of people who listen to this already sort of know you guys. So, but why don't you just take a little bit of time to introduce yourselves, tell us who you are and what you're all about.
So I'm Warren. This is Tash. We own Warren's Removals and Storage. We started that in 2014. Growing company. We started without a van, so we started hiring out a van instead of actually owning one. Did that for 12 months. Then we bought the van we were actually hiring. Fast forward to now, we've got 20 something staff, 12 vehicles, massive yard. Looking at our operators, we've got our operators license. We're looking into the HGVs at the minute. I'm 36, Tash is 26, 27. 27 then, 9 years difference.
Yeah.
Awesome. And one of the things that, obviously one of the things that we both have in common is that we both own removals companies. I constantly see you guys, you're wanting to push to the next level. And we had a little bit of chat about this off camera. So what is it that keeps you driven? Like what gets you up every day and keeps that drive intact and keeps you going?
So many things, so many factors. Obviously the brand itself is just it's growing and it's very well known, so you've automatically got a lot of encouragement and enthusiasm for that alone. So, and also just like the fun of removals, the beauty of new people, meeting new people, where it can take new doors, customers you meet. You can move a football player one day and you can move an influencer the next day and you can move a multi-millionaire you've never heard of the day after.
Yeah.
So it's such a wide range of people that you can meet, which personally excites me.
Yeah.
I think how far we've come in the small amount of time that Warren's Removals has been around is like a massive driving factor, because to see how much we've achieved in such a short amount of time is obviously amazing, but it also makes you think, where could we be in another 6-7 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's always the next step, isn't it? It opens your eyes to how much bigger it can be and how much better it can be.
Yeah.
One of the things that really excites me is helping people. So I absolutely love it. If I've had a 12, 13 hour horrible day and someone messaged me when I got home, I would still take the time to sit there, reply, even call the person. So I quite enjoy helping other removal companies. So on Instagram, Facebook, etc. We do get approached quite a lot, just asking for bits of advice, and some people just want to message you just to congratulate you and just to say, look, you're doing a cracking job, and just want to let you know I'm watching.
Yeah.
And honestly, that really, really it does something to me. It's such a sense of achievement, so much pride.
Gives you so much motivation too, I feel, when you hear that.
Yeah, definitely. Like actually just whilst on holiday, did you see my Insta post the other day about where I started? It's about 5 or 6 pictures I put on.
Yeah, seeing it was very good. The sort of the story of Warren's removals over the last few years.
Yeah. So I did that, and somebody messaged me called Tom, and he said, look, just want to let you know I've been following you for a couple of years now, and obviously I have no idea about this Tom. I don't have a clue where he lives, where he's from, and that he's been following us. This is just somebody that's been following our journey. And he messaged me saying, just want to say you're an inspiration. I'm 19. I've just started a clearance company and I'm looking to go into removals. And I just felt, how good is that?
Yeah.
How nice is that to see those kind of messages?
Yeah. And like you say, whenever you come home from a long day, things when removals are happening, there are times where it can be very stressful, especially on the day because of time constraints and whatnot. But hearing a message like that will just suddenly re-energize you.
It does, yeah, definitely.
And really so you guys, obviously, how long have you, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you guys been together now?
5 years we've been together now.
Amazing.
It's a good story actually, because I started my removal company for about 18 months before I met Tash.
Brilliant.
And I was at the point where I think I owned 2 vans at the time. So I was starting to pick up a bit of speed. I was starting to get known in the area.
Yeah.
And then I got a call off somebody called Matt Nicol. He owns a real successful estate agent in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first ever one. So my first meeting, I geared up for it. And back then I was always on the job. So I actually did it in between a job, probably on a key weight. Pulled up and I walked into the office, and that is the first person I met was Tash. She was on the reception. She worked at Nicol and Co.
That's right.
And honestly, I froze. I looked at, oh my God. So I walked past, went and did my meeting with Matt, which went really well. Walked back out, tried to do that cool walk past Tash.
Yeah.
Got back
Did
in my bag.
It worked?
Yeah. I probably looked like a complete idiot.
You didn't.
But then I walked back, got in the van, and I thought I want to add her on Facebook, Instagram or something, but I've got to at least wait 24 hours. I waited about 10 seconds probably, found her, added her. And then, but basically it was a long story short, it's our little trade-off with the estate agent and my company at the time was like £30 voucher or £30 to the staff member who recommends us. Mm-hmm. And that's how it works. And then a couple of months down the line, Tash actually recommended somebody to my company. So I went in with the cool approach and I said, instead of the £30, can I take you out on a date?
Nice.
Move.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. It wasn't that easy, to be honest. It took me about another 6 months to get her on that date. She kept cancelling on me. I was persistent, Chris. I carried on.
Sounded like a line that had been used in the past. I wanted to make sure it hadn't been used before.
Oh, that's amazing. So I see a lot of moving companies where there's like a husband and wife sort of running it. So what for you guys, like what are your opposing skill sets and how do you work well with each other? What are the things that make you work well together?
I'll answer this if you want.
Okay, that's up to you.
I am very, very hands-on. I'm such a hard worker. You put me on the back of a van and I will shine and I will keep going forever, honestly. But Tash brought in a complete different element to the company, which is so professional. She's so great at emails. She's great at advice. Tash is from a business family, so she gives me wisdom and advice, believe it or not. She's got a cool head. Sometimes if you've had a bad day, you've had a bad customer, you've got a bit of a shitty email to reply to. Mm-hmm. Tash is that person that can give you advice. No, don't write that. I'll write this. Leave it to me, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then aside that, she's great with numbers. She's great with computers. She's good at invoicing. Now Tash is the finance manager of the office as well as director.
Mm-hmm.
So Tash, in a nutshell, Tash brought in everything I lacked.
Amazing. I know it's so interesting because Warren, I would be very like you, but I am now having to do a lot of what Tash is doing now, and I find it extremely difficult. Like I'm great with emails with customer service because of practice. You know, I would really love somebody in my office who's super organized.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things, especially because when your business is so personal to you, if you have that unhappy customer, and like, let's get it straight, we all get them. You know, we all have people who are unhappy, and at least they have the courtesy to email you first and you can sort it out there. But when you initially get that email or that complaint, it can be a real bruise to the ego, and it can be almost, it can be easy to write back something angry. But then if you wait till the next day, you can write it with a much clearer head. And having that balance is incredible.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I constantly, you know, one of the words that's been coming up for me over and over again through your social media is community. So what does the community mean to you, and why is it so important?
I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, well, community itself it's something that I didn't really think about, but it's something that we really wanted to bring to light. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden, everybody wanted to support local. Everybody was supporting each other. There was a great sense of togetherness.
Yeah.
Community sticking together, and then all of a sudden it clicked with me and my videographer. You know, we're very fortunate that one of my best mates is our videographer, so he comes up with real good ideas, and vice versa. You know, I throw stuff at him, he throws stuff at me, and then we just go with it. And it was one of the, we'd kind of, Rob, my videographer, had kind of seen this video that we created with a different industry in like Canada or something like that. And he said, like, this reminds me of Warren's Removals. The fact that the video he actually showed me was of a barber. And he put together a video of all of his clients. Like he's got his own little community where he's from. Police officers, firemen, you know, he cuts the hair of everybody basically. And Rob, my videographer, is like, you know, that reminds me of Warren's Removals. You move everybody. So let's highlight a community section of the company. And what better time to do this than during a pandemic? So it kind of all worked out really well.
And we really tried to incorporate the companies that were struggling in the pandemic.
Yeah, it was an extremely powerful video, extremely good video.
Yeah, you know, and bring awareness to it, because we're very fortunate that through the pandemic, obviously we've been able to work, but there's plenty that haven't. So the more we can use our platform to help those people, you know, why not?
Yeah.
And it was great for everybody we had in the video. And there was only, I can't remember exactly how many trades or industries we showed off on the video, but there was only 2 or 3 which we had to fake. So for instance, Tash was a nurse, so we couldn't get a nurse at the time. So Tash got a nurse's outfit. There's another staff member that was the police officer, but you know, to anybody just watching it,
it's important to highlight those people, but obviously it's very hard to find those people with time on their hands
during a pandemic. You know, you had to be careful of who you were inviting, you know, what you were doing. At the time, you know, we could work together. We were in our own little bubble, so we used staff members for it. It was very strict actually. It was a really well orchestrated video. You know, the way we had times for people. There's hardly any mixing. We had dancers coming in. You know, it was a great day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And whenever you get a video, I don't know if you've had any like professional videos done, but there's always a long time before you've shot it to the editing.
Yeah.
A couple of months sometimes. So when it drops, you've almost forgotten that you've done that, and then he throws it at you, and you open it, and you're like mind blown every single time he throws a video. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Because he's our videographer is quite is new to his industry as well.
Yeah.
So he's learning. He started using me as a guinea pig.
Yeah.
So the first few videos we did was free, so he wouldn't charge me, and I would give him a platform to grow and to learn, as well as he was helping me. It's really strange because a lot of his customers now are my customers.
Mm-hmm.
So people who have seen him through my Instagram, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa.
It's quality work. And do you know what? I actually have a videographer who is it's sort of similar thing. He was starting out in videography. And I said, look, can you come in and shoot a few things for us? So he came in and shot a couple of short clips and took some photos, and they were amazing. And now I can't get hold of him. He's so busy, just because of his work. I can't get hold of him, can't get him booked in for anything. But it's just amazing how, like, just that platform that you've given this guy, and then of course everybody else who was in that video has given them a chance to sort of grow their business and get them seen and get them heard. It's amazing.
Definitely. We're constantly thinking, you know, I think in this modern age now with social media and just online in general, visuals are really important. And sometimes you can have a really great idea and the concept, and it can all come together, and it can be real powerful.
Yeah.
And I know photos are great. You know, we've got a photographer which we use once a month, and we think he's fantastic. You know, all of our photos that we post are always professional images.
Yeah.
And photos are fantastic, but videos we found just hit harder. They're just a completely different market.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Yeah.
They really grab attention, I feel, don't they?
Definitely. And the great thing is, sorry to keep waffling on about the video thing, but
sure.
Rob, our videographer, also runs my Instagram.
Right. Okay.
So he started that on the side as well, so which is great for us because he's got all of the clips. He does all of the filming, so we don't need to feed him anything. He just does it. We don't even know what he's going to drop, when he's going to drop it. You know, even we look at our Instagram like, bloody hell, that's a good one today. I like that.
Yeah.
I have no idea, honestly.
It's actually funny because that was going to be my next question. I'm sure there's a lot of company, especially removals companies, that want to know about how you guys run your social media. So you have that, you have your videographer sort of doing your posts and your copy and stuff.
Yeah. It got to a point where we were just too busy and we couldn't focus on it enough. And we know how important it is to focus on it. So the fact that we could find someone that was able to help us with it was really important, that we took the chance. And
don't get me wrong, there's percentage wise, he probably runs 20% of our Instagram, because a lot of the stuff that's posted is actually me and Tash doing it. But
or staff, you know, a lot of our staff love to post and they tag us in it and we can repost it, and I love that.
And so a lot of the posts are actually me and Tash doing it, and our own little ideas, because you got to feed a little bit of real life into it as well. You can't just spam videos all the time. You've got to show people that we're a real company and we're doing real moves. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's nice to have somebody there who you know is going to post to be consistent. But it's nice, it's nice to have the option and say, right, let's drop this in or let's drop that in, and not actually have to feel obligated. You know, maybe if you've had a long day and you're like, shit, we haven't posted anything in the last couple of days. You know, it's nice to have somebody there who's doing that for you. It's something I find extremely difficult because I still run all of our social media on every platform, and it's really really tough to try and keep on top of it.
You are really great at it, though. You know, I think when it gets to the point where you're not doing it is when you need to worry, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I love doing it.
It is worry.
Sorry?
I don't know if the word is worry, but you know, basically what I'm trying to say is if all your social media stops because you're so busy, that's when you probably need to bring somebody in. But at the moment, I'm always keeping up to date with you, Chris, and you're doing a cracking job on social media.
Well, thank you very much. I've got to say, it's not all, like my girlfriend is a digital marketer and she's helped me a lot just in terms of just like basic graphic design and things like that. So it's been, I've got to say, it's been a big help. And we're like yourselves, we've got a photographer on retainer. We're doing our first shoot next week, and we're going to keep going because I want to be as consistent as possible with it.
Yeah, definitely. I remember talking to somebody, I can't remember who it was, but it's always stuck in my mind about social media, because there's this stigma around social media that if you plow stuff online, you're going to get hated. People aren't going to like, they're going to eventually hate seeing you.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's the complete opposite. The more content, the better.
Yeah.
So you post every single day. It doesn't matter. You're not throwing it in every single follower's face, because believe it or not, it's probably only something ridiculously low, like 8-9% of your followers will actually see that.
Yeah.
If you consistently do it every single day, that's brilliant. You've got to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Because I know people that are worried, they're, what shall I write today? Or, don't want to put too much out there. But in fact, the more, the better.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And yeah, like it's for me, the one thing I'm really struggling with at the minute is stories, because I'm not on the vans anymore. And of course, when you're in the office, it's hard for me to film sales things and stuff because data protection, etc. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there that obviously is customer, but don't want to give names or anything. But now I'm struggling with the stories because I'm not on the vans every day, so I can't show the jobs. So I'm trying to get my guys like you guys to, I'm like, look, why don't you take a quick video or take a quick photo, tag us in it, and we'll reshare it. And like become a part of the social media. I don't want my face to be the crisscross brand all the time. I want the guys to be a part of it too.
Yeah. It's quite funny actually you say that, because again, we're hit with a lot of luck, and we have to, I suppose, appreciate that really with our staff, because we have not once ever asked any of our staff members to post about our company on social media. Never once. But there's 2 or 3 people, Adam Timbrell especially, will post about 5 things a day.
Yeah.
He posts more about my company than he does himself.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've never once asked him to do that, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because his photos and his little ideas that he comes up with on the day, just on the spot, are amazing. And he adds his humour too. He's quite funny with it. And then you've got Jason. You've probably seen Jason Holder on Instagram, another one of our staff members. He posts religiously every day. He doesn't miss a day. In fact, if he misses a day, I'm like, what's going on, Jace? You right? Honestly, again, we've never once asked for this. They just do it.
Yeah. I must say to the guys, I'm like, look, people are probably sick of looking at my face on my personal Instagram. Like, let's get some of your faces in the crisscross, because it's, I don't want the crisscross brand to be about me. I want it to be about everybody and the whole team, because everybody puts in the work every single day, and it'll be nice for them to be a part of the success of the social media too.
And ultimately, it's the more content, the more chance there is of getting work, and that puts food on their plate. You know what I mean? And I know that's the deep way of looking at it, but that is the truth.
Yeah.
The more you're out there, the more work you're gonna get.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I actually wanted to say, just sort of staying on this topic, but I just wanted to ask I want to go a little bit broader than just removals for the minute. But if you're like what I would call like a local services business, maybe self-employed tradesman or removals man with a van, like what advice would you give to somebody who is struggling with social media and wants to post more?
Advice would be, I don't know, to be honest, some people have got it and some people haven't. So if you haven't got it, you have to look for help. You have to look for help.
Okay.
I'm fortunate where I've just got the eye. I know what people want to see. So I've naturally always done it, and I've always been quite good at it. I know what not to post, never post any negativity, etc. But if you're really struggling, you need to find somebody. And a bit of advice on finding somebody is, don't just go to anyone. Try and go to someone who knows you, someone who understands your humor, the way you write,
and your company.
Yeah.
What your company is about. It could be like a family member, even, someone who knows you very well in your company and is able to help you in those parts.
Because I no longer use this guy called Jack, but Jack I used to use for my Facebook social media.
Yeah.
And Jack used to work for me. So there's 2 years where he worked for me there or thereabout. And then he moved to London and started his own little social media company. So it only felt right to give him the work because he knows me, he knows the company, and he knew my humor, he knew my way, you know, he knew what I wouldn't like and he knew what I would like.
Yeah.
But now I've got Rob, the videographer. When he posts, he double posts, so he puts them on Instagram and Facebook. So he kind of bullied Jack out without Jack. You know, it was unexpected, but Jack kind of messaged me saying, "Look, Rob looks like he's doing a cracking job. I might just leave you to it."
Yeah, yeah.
So again, we've been fortunate in that sector where the person who ran my social media actually worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good insight into how it works.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to, like, for me, I actually enjoy sitting looking at the platforms and creating, like, me and Neve sat one day and done some like TikTok videos, which I then posted on Reels for Crisscross, just testing things out. Like, I really, really enjoy creating content. Like, speaking to lovely people like you two today, love it. But if you don't enjoy it, I think you should start to look into offload it onto somebody else and suck up the cost, whatever it is, because it's the most important thing for your business if you want to grow.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, yeah. So go ahead.
Google's great, isn't it? But you know, there's a large percentage of people out there that would go to social media to find that tradesman, to find that gardener, to find that window cleaner, to find the removal man. You know, it's all social media, isn't it? So these days I'd invest into social media before I would anything else.
Yeah. I've got to say, do you know what was really, like, something really strange to me? We actually done it was a full pack and move on Saturday. It was sort of towards the end of June, and I was on the move. There was 5 of us there to do the whole job, and when we walked in, we're like, this is going to be a nice sort of leisurely paced Saturday. So I was like, right, I'll create a TikTok video for the first time for Crisscross, like a voiceover. So I went around and sort of just went, right, this is what a full pack and move looks like with Crisscross removals. You know, went to the boxes, went to the kitchen, went to the wardrobe boxes, and I just sort of recorded it from start to finish. And then at the very end of it, I was like, and then that's also all finished. And I was like, I'll just post this. And I swear to God, I posted it on the Saturday. I didn't look at the TikTok again until the Monday. And I came into the office. It was a bit later that afternoon at like 3:00. And I walked in and Dave was like, what the fuck did you do with that TikTok? I was like, we've had 5 people phone today saying we've seen your TikTok video. So I looked and it had like 10,000 views. And I was like, holy good God, like the organic reach. I was just so shocked. So like that is the power of a really good video.
Yeah. You never know, do you? You never know when that, you know.
You never know what people are going to like.
Yeah. And it is mind blowing, especially when you hit the jackpot, like with one of those ones. It's great, isn't it? You get so many like positive messages from that.
Yeah. I haven't been able to recreate it since. So you guys you obviously seem to run like what would be considered an almost flawless service. So I'll ask you both the same question. Like, what does customer service mean to you guys?
Shall I go first?
Yeah.
I think customer service isn't just customer service from when they call. I think it's all the way through to the end. So it's really important that we cover all bases. Mm-hmm. So from the moment they call until the after service and customer care at the end, because sometimes the end is what they remember the most. Mm-hmm. Because obviously it's their last memory of you. So we've tried to build a system where at every point they get flawless customer service.
Okay.
So from start to finish. So from the moment they call, they're dealt with and cared by, hopefully by the same person. If not, then it's only between 2 people. So they always know when they call that they're going to speak to one of those 2 people. You know, they're not going to call and they're not going to speak to someone different every time. Mm-hmm. It's really important that they stick to the same kind of people, that we're transparent with them throughout it all, and all the way up until, you know, at the end when we collect boxes, we'll give them a call, check that the move went smoothly, And obviously if they're really happy, which 99.9% of the time they are, they give us reviews without us even having to ask most of the time, which just proves that our customer service is great, because a lot of companies will send an email and say, please can you leave us a review, whereas most of the time we'll go onto our Facebook or Google and it's already been done. And we'll email them or call them after that as well and thank them for that. So it's just always keeping in contact with them and being open with them about all parts of the move.
That's a customer service to me personally. Just it's such a wide range of the word customer service. It comes naturally, if that makes any sense. So our customer service skills come without us really trying, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But I've got really into watching a lot of podcasts and learning about different industries and stuff. And one of them was Jeff Bezos, I don't know how to pronounce it. And he said something that was fantastic, to be honest. And I'll live with this forever, up until I no longer own a company. But he said a lot of companies now concentrate too much on their competition, when in fact their competition are never ever going to send them any money. You need to concentrate on your customers. Don't worry about what your competitors are doing. Always invest all of your time and energy into the customer. And I remember watching that and thinking, we do that without really thinking that we're doing that. Because although we all keep an eye on our competitors, we don't look at our competitors or people in the same industry and think of them as competitors. We either look at them for encouragement, inspiration, etc. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people look at
I need to do better.
I try and find flaws in that. But for us, especially me and Tash, customer service is so important, really, really important. For instance, if we get a website inquiry over a weekend and the office doesn't open till Monday, we want that inquiry called within 5 minutes of the office opening. Sometimes if me and Tasha got a bit of downtime at home and we come across that website inquiry, we would actually reply on like a Saturday or a Sunday night. That's how much our customers mean to us.
I think there's nothing better than like a customer. We had one not long ago who sent an inquiry at like 11:30, say, and by midday I'd called her. And she said, wow, I've literally just clicked the button on that. And that leaves an impression, doesn't it? Another company might not call her back till the next day, or or we could have easily done that, if we hadn't have refreshed our inquiries or whatever it may have been. But it leaves a lasting impression. They know that you're there waiting and ready to help them. And and the quotes for the next day. So within 24 hours of them making that phone call, they've not only had a call back, we've been out, quoted them and sent them their quote.
And all the way down,
speed.
Every single every single section of our company is driven by that. So from the first initial phone call to us making contact to us booking in a quote, we try and get them in as fast as possible. So for instance, we could get a call at 11 o'clock, we can get them a quote by 12 o'clock. By 12:30 they've got their quote in their email. By 1 o'clock they're booked. And then all the way down to the actual day of the move. One of my biggest pet hates in removals, I've got a couple, but my biggest pet hates in removals is the guys turning up to work in the morning, and then on the way to the job they're picking up lunch or they're getting breakfast, and they're arriving at different times. Even if it's 5 minutes apart, you're still arriving at different times. And that's something that really, really gets to me, because that customer wants to see the whole team, and that customer wants to walk around the house with every single one of that team, say doing it 2 or 3 times. But that's just something that we're so focused on getting completely right.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't let that wash. If I find out someone's gone to get breakfast on the way to the job, we get them in and we talk to them, because I think that's customer service at the end of the day.
It starts from that moment.
I actually had that issue. I brought it up at a team meeting a while ago. It's something very, very similar. And I was like, look, guys, you need to get your breakfast before you come into work. I was like, if you guys need a break at 9:30 or 10, then that's fine. But you need to show up to the customer's house on time. Now we changed our schedules and stuff for little things, so we'll have more time in the morning for preparation. So it's all worked out. But I completely agree with that philosophy. Everybody's showing up on time and making sure you are there on time. And if you're not going to be there on time, to call the customer and let them know.
Communication. Yeah.
Because services.
I've got one guy called.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I've got one guy called Simon who's worked for us since I started, pretty much, and he is literally like hands down the best removal man I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And he's got such a crazy brain that the night before he will look at Google Maps and he will plan his route and he will plan the best entrance. Yeah. Not just their current house, their new address.
Yeah. And other teams as well. Teams, yeah. He'll look at other teams he's not even on, and say, guys, just so you know, the accent's really bad here. I'd go this way if I was you.
Yeah. But he's like literally super organized like that. Yeah. However, he lacks in his communication skills. Yeah. So I know not to push that part onto Simon so much, because I don't know why. He's just got this kind of personality where he struggles with actual communicating with the customers, and especially on the phone and stuff like that. Yeah. But you have to accept that with some people. But Simon genuinely is like, he is the heart and soul of our company. And if he handed in his notice, Christ almighty, it would be in the shit. Yeah.
Well, that's yeah. No, just saying the beauty. Sorry, sorry, mate. There must be. No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, he's the kind of guy that everybody wants to work with, because when we're dropping the team sheets, we drop them the day before. So tomorrow's jobs we drop today on WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. And generally there's 3, 4, 5 news a day. And if you're on Simon's team, you're going to have a good day.
That's amazing. And I know the beauty about what you just said there is the fact that you know his strengths and his weaknesses, and you play to his strengths, and you've acknowledged his weaknesses, but the acceptance of having, like, everybody's got weaknesses on teams, and that's fine. Yeah. It's not about highlighting those flaws. It's just about accepting them and playing people into their strengths. And I think that's a sign of an amazing leader and an amazing leadership.
Yeah, you can't throw people into situations that they're not comfortable with. No. But it does take you quite a long time to learn this. It takes you a while to figure out a staff member. For instance, I was saying this to a staff member the other day. I was on a massive job, and I spent a lot of time with just one staff member. We were in the van together every single day. The move was 6 days in total. So I got to know him really well, and I was talking about staffing in general. And sometimes you have to look deeper into just one staff member and who they are. You have to look at their household, and if you're actually managing them and their wife at the same time. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. Sometimes these guys, they don't wear the trousers, their wife does. And if they need to be back at a certain time, you kind of have to gauge that, you're not just managing, I don't know, Adam, for instance. You're managing Adam and his wife. Although you don't really ever speak to his wife,
you have to take the whole family into consideration.
Oh, absolutely.
And what motivates them as a family. Again, it goes back to motivation, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Some families obviously are motivated by him being out late, so then he's earning more money. Mm-hmm. But some families obviously want family time, and that's important to realize that and work to that.
Yeah. That just an interesting point. That just off the back of that, we had the same sort of issue. People were getting frustrated, working hours, too many hours, not spending time at home. I decided to not work weekends anymore. And that was for myself as well, for my own mental health, because it was just, yourself, if something happens on a Saturday and you try and take a day off, then you're still switched on. You don't actually get. So I find myself cancelling plans, and we came to an agreement as a team. And when I say a team, I mean my main staff. You know, the general manager, the team leaders. They all just said it was too much. You know, they were missing time with their kids. They were missing time with this. And I just said, look, it's not worth the extra money on a Saturday. I said, look, we'll stop working weekends. If they come up, I'll give you guys the option. If you want to work it, you can. But it's one of those things you kind of need to balance out. And I know you guys do work Saturdays, but I'm sure not everybody works 6 days every week, especially the family guys.
No, we've got a new system where if they work one Saturday, the following Saturday, we'll do everything in our power to make sure that they don't work. So it's one off and one on. Yeah. Which the guys love.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
but
great.
Again, it's you know, you can't solve for us especially, you can't fix a problem for everybody because not everybody wants time off. You know what I mean? So I remember reading about this is just off the subject a tiny bit, but about Iceland. You know, Iceland has started to roll out these 4-day weeks because it's better for mental health and stuff. And their statistics, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was like 60-something% said that, you know, they'd rather work 4 days and have 3 days off.
Yeah.
But to me, that says that 30-odd% didn't want that. So you kind of have to. You're
never going to win it all.
You're never going to win it all. No. But I've got like a few guys that want to work every single hour. That, you know, that if we had Sundays, they'd work on a Sunday. They want to work 7 days a week. They want to work 12 hours a day. Without risking burnout. But then you get other guys that just want 4 days and they want to be finished at 5 o'clock. So it's literally catering to everybody, but you can't fix the problem for all.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah, it's just about trying to find a little bit of middle ground. It's like give and take. It's like, well, I know you don't want to do this, but you're going to have to do this, you know, and just trying to find it's an ever going balance as a leader for sure. But you know, you guys seem to be doing a great job. I know I'm certainly trying my best. It's difficult, especially in an industry where it's not a start and a finish time.
You hit the nail on the head though. The best way to combat this kind of problem is to give them the option. Instead of expecting it, you ask them. And if they say yes, then it's their choice. So we constantly do that. We're always overrun. We're always taking too much on. We've always got a lot of bookings. We've always got the option of a 6-day week most weeks. So we ask everybody who's up for a 6-day week, and you'll be surprised that like at least 50% of the company say yes, they want it. Sometimes more.
But it's giving them the option.
Instead of throwing it on their plate, you ask them.
No, it's a tough one, but it's certainly something. It's about just about learning as you go as a leadership to try and, because you, as I'm sure you found, it's not just about the customer anymore. It's probably about 70% about the staff now and 30% about the customer, like in terms of managing expectations and stuff.
Yeah. But we're really we're OCD with pretty much everything. You must have seen on our social media, just all the way down to our branding. You know, we want our branding perfect. And another thing, one of my other pet hates in removals is staff turning up with grey jogging bottoms. It is a company rule that if you're wearing shorts or bottoms, they've got to be black. We do not want to see anyone in Adidas stripy grey tracksuit bottoms, because it really doesn't look good. And that is something that we stand by. And in fact, I've actually sent somebody home before to get black trousers because the job was that important to me.
And that's just an interesting topic. I mean, I'm strict about uniforms, crisscross tops, strict about, you know, hoodies and stuff. Now, if it's a freezing cold day, you know, guys can obviously wear a coat. We don't have any crisscross coats. I wouldn't be as strict as to say that. But why is it that the black is so important to you guys?
I'll say why I think, and then you can say why you think. Sure. I think it's important because I think in the removals industry, you know, there's a certain picture painted about removals people. Okay. I feel. And I feel like this is like our brand, and which obviously heavily branded. And part of that is that the guys wear the uniforms, and they're in unison. So not everyone's wearing something different. You know, it doesn't look like they've just turned up just to work today, and you know, they don't really work for the company. It's important that everyone knows that they are our employees. These are their uniforms, and yeah, I'd say that's why. But
yeah, for me, it's not. It is that. It's a huge element of that. But to me, I remember it hit me because I wasn't that strict about this until I got a photographer, and the one day we had a whole shot doing, and our photographer's great. He sends the photos within like 2 hours or something. So he comes and takes about 400 shots, gets home, does his editing skills, and then sends them across. And I remember this one shoot that we did. And there's one staff member that was wearing grey tracksuit bottoms, and he completely ruined the whole shoot. In fact, I never posted a single photo because it just messed with my head.
It just looked out of place. Yeah.
That's amazing.
When you're heavily branding on social media and stuff, it all needs to look crisp and perfect.
Yeah. Interesting. No, it's very interesting point.
Yeah, we're not asking these guys to pay for it out of their own money. We're offering, you know, if you need to go and buy some black bottoms, go and do it. Give me the receipt. It's no problem.
Amazing.
So,
no, it's just interesting point. I just wanted to probe that one a little bit further, because I completely agree about the brand, because you want your image to look good, but you also want consistency as well.
Yeah.
Unreal. And just going back to social media, and you guys obviously work with influencers recently. Warren, I know you went down to do a job in London. Was it for Zara? What's her second name? I can't remember her second name.
Zara McDermott. Sam Thompson.
Yeah. So how was that?
It's quite funny actually, because over a month or two before that, Tash was constantly showing me videos of Sam Thompson, like laughing at his Insta stuff. And then one day I was mowing the lawn and I got an Instagram message, and it was from Zara. And I thought, bloody hell, 1.5 million followers. So I clicked on it and I thought, oh, she goes up with like this Sam guy, which Tash always shows me.
Yeah.
So I instantly rang up Tash. I was like, look, I've had this message, and you know, I don't know what to do. She wants to do a collaboration. I've not done one of these before, so I actually didn't really know what a collaboration was at the time. Ultimately, that's their way of saying, will you move me for free?
Yeah.
So there's a certain element of thought behind that, but obviously with this one, it came two. So there wasn't just one influencer, there was two, and there were a couple, and they're really well known, and combined followers were like 3 million. So I obviously entertained that. So I asked for a mobile number. I said, look, this is really, I know you probably don't really want to give your mobile number up, but you know, you can rest safe in the knowledge that it's very confidential to me. But I would like to talk about this. And she sent it within like 10 seconds. And I rang her and we had a really nice conversation. He said, look, you know, I've been recommended to you from a couple of friends, which I thought was a bit weird because we're nowhere near London. We're in Worcester. We're 120 miles away. So first of all, it's amazing that we're getting recommended by her friends. And the fact that she reached out to us was great. But we quickly learned that it was a really small, easy job. So doing it for free was, you know, an easy decision for us. It wasn't a hard decision at all. In fact, I worked out the costs and not taking my own wage into consideration, because I consider myself a free member of staff.
Yes.
But my outgoings for that first day, because we brought it into storage, was about 180 quid. And also I want to stress that it's not a move for free. You are getting something in return. So they're paying, their currency is Instagram. It's a real weird world exposure now, but it's exposure. So that's what they paid with. And
it was a bit of a test for us really to see what, if we get referrals from it, you know, does anything come from these or not? You know, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And it was a test worth doing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I know, Chris, I know that that's not my market. I don't live in that area.
Yeah.
That's not my market at all. I don't need to move people who live in London because we're not going to be competitive enough for those customers. Do you know what I mean? So I know that that is aimed for companies in that area, but for us, it was like a huge sense of achievement that they've approached us so far away.
Yeah.
We move athletes. We've moved a lot of them in our area in Worcester. We're one of the only cities in the country without a football team. Well, we've got a football team, but it's real poor. No one really knows about them.
Okay.
In our city, we've got rugby. Worcester Warriors, who are like in the Premier League. So we move them all the time. We move footballers, and these guys, they're not after a freebie. They don't ask for a collab. No. They just want to do a move. So we've done moves like this with high-end people, but for actual money, not for an Insta post.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've had a little bit. We already know a bit about this, but obviously, ultimately, this was an experiment for us as well.
Okay. And if you were to do it again, how would you do it differently? Or is there anything you would do differently, I should say?
Yes and no. So since then, I've had a message for, I can't remember her name, Sam Fairs or Billy Fairs or something like that.
Yeah.
The Mommy Diaries.
Yeah.
Sam, yeah. So I actually got approached by another removal company that didn't want to do this. So they said, oh yeah, you know, I've seen you move Zara recently. Are you interested in this move? So I said, well, let's have a look at it. And in fact, it was a mammoth move. It was big. It would have took 2 or 3 days. It would have took half of my fleet out.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at that. You know, you can't be stupid with it. You can't move a whole house over 3 days in London for nothing, because you're going to end up skint.
Yeah, you've got to weigh up the pros and cons.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Warren, finish what you were saying. There seems to be a little bit of a glitch here. Sometimes I'm like cutting over you guys by accident. Sorry, what were you saying?
That's all right. I was just going to say, yes, you've got to look at the size of the job and if it will be worth it. And, you know, I'm a bit of a case study that Zara's move actually worked wonders for us. It was amazing for the phone ringing. Don't get me wrong, the phone went absolutely nuts and we couldn't believe it. However, it was real bad timing because it was in June. In fact, we didn't even have the capacity to do Zara's move. I just made it happen. I should have said we can't do it. It was June. We were too busy. We were stretched every day. We were working 7 days a week pretty much. But when we did the move and we got that exposure, the amount of phone calls we got from everybody who wanted June, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we got the phone ringing, but we couldn't do anybody's move.
Yeah. So it was an experiment worth testing out. But if you were doing it differently again, I actually agree with you about the size of the job. We have been asked to do jobs for free before, which I've refused because, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, you'll get exposure, but the people, and maybe for an influencer such as Zara with such a massive following for a small job, yes, it would have been worth it. But we've had people with like 20, 30,000 followers that aren't even in our market asking me to do like a 3-bedroom semi-detached house for free. And I was like, I just said no. It's you've got to weigh up the costs, and you've got to weigh up the cost isn't too high, but it's what are you missing out on? You know, you're sending 3 vans and 3 men out for 2 days. Like what is that worth to you? You know, £1,000 plus probably. So it's not.
And aside that, you've got to also remember that these people don't own cheap furniture. There's a lot of risk involved for a free job. So expensive, everything's so heavy, you know, you've got to take extra care. So these jobs generally would get done over 2 days. You kind of have to add an extra day to these kind of jobs because it takes so much preparation.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to take time.
Amazing.
And also area. So area comes into it, doesn't it? So with Zara, we know that that's not our area. So we know that the phone's going to ring in London, but are we actually going to win any of those moves even if we were available?
Yeah, probably not.
1 or 2. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2.
Well, it was an experiment with trying anyway. It's just I was just
Yeah,
really
and they
interested.
were,
I seen what happened, and I was just interested to know. And I've actually
and they
had
were really lovely people too, weren't they?
Really, really nice
Yeah.
people, really nice. In
brilliant.
fact, you know, we've all got these preconceived ideas of these influencers and what they're actually like, but everybody out there is just a human, you know. They're just really normal people. We were just chatting about the Euros at the time. Me and Sam were saying, it's coming home. It definitely is. It's coming home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He was just a normal everyday customer.
yeah. Unreal.
It's nice.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, Tash, what was that?
I just said it was nice to see.
Yeah. So how do you guys, I'm sort of going to move on to like, personal lives and balance and things like that. So how do you guys, I know obviously you've got your young daughter, Harper, and of course the two of you work within the business. It's obviously a lot of hard work. So how do you guys manage your time, or what do you do for downtime?
I think you should say your Jeff Bezos thing again. Something else he learned from his Jeff Bezos podcast.
So just to track back a little bit, Chris, about 2 years, well, it's been 20 months now, I quit drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
So my downtime after work, etc., was a pint, having a couple of pints, and a couple of pints turned into 5-6 pints, and this was every single night. So I decided to quit and invest all of my time and energy into the business and family, etc. And now all of a sudden I've just become addicted to podcasts and like learning about business. Yeah. Learning about business and doing research on some of the biggest companies in the world. And I watched a Jeff Bezos thing the other day, and he said something that it's so true. He said, there's such a stigma out there at the moment about work-life balance, and it's drilled into us that work-life balance is so important, which implies that, in fact, there's a bit of a trade-off. There's a trade-off between work and family life. But in fact, there shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a balance. It shouldn't be weighing scales. It's a circle.
Yeah.
So if you're happy at work, you should be happy at home, and if you're happy at home, you'll be going into work happy, and it's just a never-ending circle.
Yeah.
So if you're happy here, you're going to be happy here as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're in an industry, unfortunately, we're in an industry where work-life balance is kind of out the window anyway, because we don't know when we're going to finish.
Yeah.
So we have to take that on board, obviously, and just, I don't know, really, you've got to make the most of your downtime. Tash, for my birthday, was it Christmas? I can't remember. My birthday, wasn't it? You bought me a work phone.
Yeah.
For my birthday. So I've always ran my company from one phone. And Tash bought me a personal phone. So now I've got a personal phone and a work phone, and I'm getting really good at leaving my work phone in the house, or on holiday now I leave my work phone in the villa. And I do actually feel the most relaxed I've ever been. I know that everything's sorted at home. I know that I'm spending quality time with my family, and I'm actually present as well. So I'm not in the clouds thinking, and I'm not stood in the back of a van wondering if this is going right. I'm actually here and I'm on holiday.
I think that's important. I think the most important thing about having downtime is to really have it, really let go and enjoy it, especially when you're running a company. There's always a part of you that's still at home thinking about the company. But the most you can detach yourself, you'll actually get the most out of it, because like we spend our time now, obviously, sometimes we'll think, oh, that's a great idea for what we should do when we get back with the vans or this, that, or the other. If you try to clear your head and come back, you come back so much fresher than if you were sat on your phone looking at what's going on today, when you don't need to know what's going on today. It's being sorted. And your head is otherwise filled with that. So it's just really trying to let go of everything and enjoy the downtime that you get.
It was quite funny, actually, Chris, because I decided that I was going to work, because I'm not the kind of person that can completely switch off. I have to check in at least once a day. And I decided that I was going to work an hour and maybe 2 hours maximum in the morning. And I told this to Esther, who works in the office, and she said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you need to work probably half an hour maximum at night, because in the morning is when all the problems happen. So you don't want to read about any problems. If you open your phone in the evening, you'll see the problems, and then you'll see how they've been dealt with.
Yeah.
And I felt that's a really good point, actually. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I've tried to stick to that.
So they've all been resolved by the evening.
Exactly.
Otherwise, my head would just go, you wouldn't worrying about stuff.
Yeah.
And you try and take it into your own hands then, yeah. When you see a problem, you want to deal with it yourself. And
yes, it's instinct, natural instinct.
Yeah.
Luke, who's the general manager who runs the company when we're away, has given me every evening, he's sending me like a relatively long WhatsApp message, just highlighting everything, what's gone good, what payments we've had, it's just basically giving me a brief overview of what's happened.
Yes.
And that just puts my mind at rest.
Yeah. The reason I ask, I actually don't even, I ask the same sort of question to anybody who's an entrepreneur, about work-life balance. I actually hate using the word balance. I like using the word integration. When I'm off, I'm similar to Warren. I'm doing little things, I'm either right now I'm cutting up videos from podcasts and things like that, which is a real pain, but I want to get this podcast right. I'm always working on little personal projects, even on the weekend, just doing little bits and pieces. We built a gym down in our office so that I can work out there if I'm called in, on an emergency. So trying to just bring in everything that's important to me and trying to integrate it in with work is quite easy. And it is important. The only time I really switch off is between sort of 2:00 on a Saturday, after I finished a lot of the stuff I do in the morning, rotas and things like that on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Right through until Monday morning, I come back in. But getting a work phone and a personal phone was one of the first things that I ever done 6 months in the run of the business.
Oh, really?
It's a game changer, absolute game changer. And my work phone gets left in the office on Friday, whatever time we finish, until Monday morning. Dip in and out in case there is any emergency in emails over the weekend. I always phone our customers on a Friday to tell them, look, this is the office mobile, it's not going to be in operation. If you need anything, drop us an email and I'll pick it up over the weekend. Just trying to integrate things, but also at the same time looking after your customers, not leaving them in limbo. And it's just interesting that you brought those points up, about integration and what you're doing. But I wanted to come back to a point there. I know, Warren, we had this conversation last year about you not drinking. So Tash, can I ask you, how do you think that has not only improved the business, but improved your relationship on home life?
I think on both levels, it's improved it more than I could ever imagine it could have. Obviously, Warren's Removals was successful before he drank, but it's so much more successful now. He doesn't drink. And I feel like he's got, again, when he said like he's obviously got a bit of a hot, when he's dealing with customers, if there's ever a bad moment, or with staff, I feel like you see everything much clearer now, if that makes any sense. Everything's very transparent. He sees it with a clear head. He deals with problems better. And I just feel like you're more present within the company, aren't you?
Yeah.
Definitely. And
it got to a point, Chris, that I was relying on alcohol. I definitely wasn't an alcoholic, so I don't want to make it seem like I had a problem. But I just think in society now there's a lot of drinking, and it's the norm.
It's the normal.
It's the norm. And my work-related stress would end up with a pint of beer every night. It's pretty much every single night. Yeah. And if I didn't change, I could have gone down quite a bad avenue. Do you know what I mean? So, in fact, I've changed. I got into my fitness. I feel healthy in body and mind now.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I don't think I could have done. The whole expansion and the huge leap that we took this year to our new premises, and the outlay of money and the cost implications. I don't think I could have done that with my old head.
It would have been much more difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Everything's rationalised now.
Yeah. And was it? I know you said there about it was like a stress reliever at the end of the day. Once upon a time ago, I remember going to see a coach who was a performance coach for Irish dancers and boxers and MMA fighters, and he was doing a talk one time, and he was saying about alcohol and stress relief. So what happens if you feel stressed, and your way to calm that stress is by having a drink. So your body and your mind get used to that. Stress reliever stress is the trigger. Alcohol makes you feel calm. And he said once that gets locked in your subconscious mind and is done over and over and over again, it becomes very hard to break. And that's how alcoholism happens. And it's just interesting. I still do drink, just very rarely. But my alcohol used to be the same sort of thing. I would have want to unwind after a stressful week, which for me led to other things. Things I don't want to discuss here right now, but it led to bad things. And now I've changed that relationship. So when we're celebrating, or me and my girlfriend go out for dinner, or we're celebrating, a big business win, we'll have a few drinks. So it's just changing that trigger for me. But it just really, it's great to hear that you were able to get out of that, and of course grow your business. So it's just an attribute that a good lifestyle can equal major business growth in a short space of time, just due to clear head and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was 100%. Other than starting the business in the first place, it's 100% the best decision I've ever made. And and I don't think I'm ever going to drink again. It sounds strange, but I don't really, it doesn't interest me anymore.
As soon as you see a life without it, I feel like once you saw a life without it, you see your life before it. So you remember what it was like to drink, and you see the difference. When you're in the cycle, you don't see what it could be without it.
No,
now you do.
Yeah. In fact, there's Tash laughs at this, but there's in our house we've got some like family photos and stuff, and over the last year or so, some of those photos I find quite hard to look at, because I remember me then, and I remember that exact night the photo was taken, and how I was acting, and how much I was drinking, and what I was up to, kind of thing. And I just asked her politely, can we change the photos to the new me?
Amazing. Just letting go of the old self. It's really, really incredible. And I'm just sort of really delighted. I remember, I think you're probably only about 3 or 4 months in the last time we spoke. So it's just amazing to see how that's affected both your personal and professional life. It's great.
Yeah, we are the happiest we've ever been. And we've always been happy. Me and Tash never ever argue. We're always on the same wavelength, etc. But something has definitely happened where we just feel unbreakable now.
Amazing. Unreal. Right, so I want to finish off with some sort of fun, quick fire questions. I don't know if you guys already read them, but I'm going to shoot you them both.
Okay.
Okay, so Warren, I'll start with you. Are you a morning or a night person?
Easy.
Can I ask a question on this question?
Sure. Go ahead.
In what sense? Do you mean like do I go to more? Or what's my mood like in the morning or at night? Or you talking, do I go to bed or do I wake up early? Okay.
Well, let's go with mood. Like, are you a morning or a night person? Are you in a good mood in the morning or at night?
I'm the same mood morning and night. I don't
That's
change.
A boring answer.
Yeah, but I'll wake up early. I'm an early bird, always up early.
Yeah.
But I also go to bed early.
Yeah.
just out of curiosity. Sorry, go ahead, Tash.
I was gonna say I wake up early, but I go to bed late. Yeah, it's not great.
What time do you guys rise at?
Wow, you're normally up about 6:30.
Yeah. If I don't have
7:30.
If I don't have to get up and there's no alarm, I'd automatically wake up between 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tash will just wake up just naturally at any point. It can be 8 o'clock, it could be 11.
Yeah. No, that's not true. We got a 3-year-old. I never get to sleep till 11.
No,
Yeah.
that would be. I don't think so.
But we go to bed early, and when I say early, it's normally 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Jesus.
But Tash likes to educate herself. Tash likes to read the mail online. She reads loads of newspaper articles, and she does that in bed. So I wake up in the morning. Like, what time did you go to bed? She's like 12. I'm like, we went to bed at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was reading about the Taliban.
Neve does the same thing.
I love it.
Neve does the same thing. She would literally be falling asleep on the sofa if we were watching, like, at the moment we're watching Modern Family. She'd be falling asleep, and then I'd be like, right, let's go to bed. We'll go up to bed, and all of a sudden the phone comes out and the earphones go in. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just like, oh, I need to watch something to fall asleep to. I'm like, we're just falling asleep 5 minutes ago. Right. So next question: what compliment do people give you the most?
Oh, should we answer each other's?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Go on then. You tell me mine.
No, you tell me mine first. I need to think about it.
I think business-wise, it's always the same. Really, doing so well.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
How much you've achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must be really proud. It's a lot of that. You get that quite a lot, which is great. And also family. I get quite a lot of compliments about my beautiful family. Without cheesy, I have actually got the most beautiful family in the world.
Awesome.
I think that's one
Like,
thing about
a couple of photos that I posted last night.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 of my friends, and this is on my personal Instagram, which I've only just started, so not many followers. But they got a few of my friends said, wow, like, you guys are the best. You know what I mean? I love those kind of compliments.
Yeah, they're the best compliment you can get.
Yeah, because it's rare for me, Taff and Harper, to get a photo which is actually a nice photo, because Harper's like a little...
Normally poking a tongue out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little rascal. So when I was excited to post that one last night, and it got a good... Yeah. You know, it got a good reception.
Amazing.
What about yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
You answer it.
Tash is obviously her looks. My compliment to Tash every single day, probably 10 times a day, is how great she looks.
Brilliant.
Truth.
Yeah. Is that it? Just my looks?
It wasn't how many, it was the most.
What do the staff compliment you guys on the most? Your team?
Oh.
The staff compliment.
I think his is how much he's in communication with them, and you know, he's everyone's friend. Warren is. He's really good at that. You know, he's always been like that. You know, the guys can come to him about anything. That's the biggest compliment they'd give you, is that you're so open with them. And
I don't know if this is like an actual compliment, but it's something that's been told to me quite a few times, is how can I say thank you, because it's such a strange, in any industry, in a lot of businesses out there, there's not many thank yous.
No.
Yeah.
But I actually say it, or I try to say it every single day to as many staff members as I can.
Yeah.
I always say thank you.
Make sure they know they're appreciated.
Yeah, that's a big one. Amazing. I do it every day as well, as many times as I can, as many times as appropriate, really. But yeah, just making people feel valued is a big one. And what about you, Tash? What do the staff compliment you on the most?
I'd say that they probably compliment me the most on getting paid on time.
That's always a good one.
I think there's a lot of like indirect compliments. You know, you rarely ever get people come in and compliment you on, oh, thanks for paying me on time. But there's a certain element of them being grateful for that side of things.
Yeah. Okay, next one. What is your hidden talent?
Oh, I've got a good one.
Yeah.
I'm actually world class, Chris, at the Diablo.
The Diablo?
You know the Diablo, those things that
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
actually?
yeah, really good at the Diablo. When I was in school on my same road where I lived, there's a youth centre,
Yeah.
and in one of the rooms at the back, there's a guy that used to always, he had yo-yos, he had like the plates spinning on a stick, and he taught me how to use the Diablo, and I was really young at the time, and I was mesmerised by it. It's a bit like magic as a kid. Magic was like the best thing in the world, but for me, watching this guy on the Diablo was one of the best things I'd ever seen. So I just picked up the sticks, and I don't do it now, obviously. I'd like to.
You do every now and then.
Yeah, if I see a Diablo.
If he sees one.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite good on the Diablo.
Awesome. Warren, you have to show me a video. You have to show me a video. Have you got one in the house?
Yeah, we'll do. Actually, I've got an idea. I might get a branded Diablo.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Tash, what about you?
I'll bring that to life. I'll buy you one.
You buy me one as well?
I'll get you a crisscross one. Yeah, I'll have a look online, see if one of these branded Diablos actually exists.
Awesome. And then I'll practice, and then I'll come over to England, and we'll do a video together.
All right.
Go ahead, Tash. What's your hidden talent?
I don't think I've got one.
Think back into your school days. What were you good at? That's what I've done. Dancing, wasn't you? Weren't you a good dancer?
Yeah. I used to dance.
I know one thing, Chris. You can't sing.
Yeah.
I think I can.
As long as nobody else but Warren hears you, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
Chris, I'm interested in yours.
My hidden talent. Do you know what? I haven't even thought about my hidden talent yet. Is it interviewing people? Could be. We'll see how big the podcast gets. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I have to think about that one and get back to you. I've got talents, but I don't know what my hidden talent. It's yet to be discovered.
There you go.
Think about it, and I'll invite you onto my podcast. Don't worry, I'm not starting a podcast.
Yes, should do. For me, this is all about fun. I have no.
Yeah.
I just want to promote it and have fun on it. Like it's not. I don't want to be Joe Rogan, but you never know.
It's great, Chris. By the way, I've done another podcast which wasn't filmed, so I prefer the filmed ones because it's more real. So fair play to you on that. But I did a podcast with somebody who on Instagram looked pretty good actually, and I'm not going to put him down. He's a great guy, nice guy, got a good podcast, but I didn't have the same feel. And in fact, he cut me short. He cut me short on I only got through half of my removal story, and he said, and that's it, thank you. Thanks for joining us, Warren. I was like, well, it's not finished.
Yeah.
It was a bit odd, so I'm just paying you a compliment here. So yours are real good, even though you probably consider yourself a bit of an amateur at this or a newbie. You're actually really good.
You are.
Thank you. Appreciate
you remind
that.
me of Joe Rogan.
Oh, do you? Is it because I'm bald and I've got like tattoos? No.
Yeah. Just the same.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is my favorite one. What is your biggest addiction?
Yours is easy.
I've got a few. The boring answer is work. That's the boring answer. But I've got a newfound hobby, a new addiction, which is mowing my lawn perfectly straight, getting the lines. Greenest lawn in Worcester by far.
He entered himself into a lawn Facebook group.
You know what?
Chris,
it sounds really boring, and I suppose.
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
it sounds boring, and I suppose it's a little bit getting old, I suppose. But when I'm mowing the lawn and I'm outside and I'm by myself, is when I do my most creative thinking.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's fun for you, Tash, when he comes back in. Tash, here's what we're going to do next. Yeah.
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 I normally sit outside and watch him and watch his brain ticking over as he's going up and down the lawn.
Yeah.
Nice. Joe, I feel like that when I'm either boxing or driving. One of those two things. If I'm doing those things by myself, I'm not great at housework at all. I've got a cleaner and that sort of for home. But driving and boxing, when I do those two things, I think very creatively. So it's amazing.
I remember somebody saying, and I don't actually do this, but I can understand it. Is that when you're in the car, you shouldn't really listen to music. You should make your phone calls at that point, or you should listen to some news or get a podcast on the go.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do every given opportunity, I've got my music on full blast. That's
just who you are, though.
That's just who I am.
That's how you relax.
Yeah. But I remember someone saying, when you're in the car, that's when you need to get your phone calls out, get them done. Get the calls done. Those important little bits. But in fact, I just want to listen to Eminem.
Look, whatever works for you. I used to do that, sales calls in the car, through the emails, boom, straight in, headphones in. But now if the car is a relaxing time, although I need a new car because my car is falling apart. My caddy really is. Yeah, man. What about you, Tash? What's your biggest addiction?
I'd say probably watching crime documentaries.
Yeah.
I'm a bit obsessed with watching crime documentaries, so probably that is my biggest addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Tash is quite weird, actually. We've been walking the dog some places before, and she's looked at me and she said, I think that'd be quite a good place to murder someone. You can hide someone easy there. No,
what a great thing to say.
Good.
Weird, yeah, it does look quite good.
It's good to know the romance is still there between you two, anyway.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But in fact, actually,
you ever annoy me?
I love that kind of stuff as well, to be honest. Tash is better than me, but I'm not very good at watching actual acting. I don't really like series and that kind of stuff. I like real life stuff, and if it's about a murder or if it's about
anything, any kind of documentary we're into, aren't we?
Anything real life I can watch, definitely.
Yeah. I watched The Last Dance again recently. Like, that's just such a great documentary.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
That's amazing.
If you need some motivation, that stuff gets you fired up.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Such a great series.
I agree with that. Really good.
Yeah. So what is your favorite hobby, each of you?
Probably a really boring one, but we love to take the dogs out for a walk of a weekend. That's one of our favourite hobbies, isn't it?
I don't know if that's classed as a hobby.
It's probably not, but that's the closest as a hobby we've got, probably.
Yeah. Hobby, whenever you say the word hobby, it normally refers to a sport or something that you do like in your downtime and stuff, so like the gym, etc. I go through phases with the gym, so I'm into the gym, and when I'm into the gym, I'm crazy on the gym, like dieting, etc. Everything, I'm mad. And then I could come out of it and not bother with it at all, eat what I want, and that's where I'm currently at the moment. I'm not into the gym at all. I try and eat healthy. I obviously don't drink alcohol. I look after my body in that sense, but normally it would be the gym, but at the moment it's not.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to getting back into the gym though.
Yeah. And what about you, Tash? Do you have any hobbies, or what's your favorite?
I haven't really, have I? My hobbies are normally Harper's hobbies that I just join along.
No, I'll tell you what, Tash is really, really good, and her biggest hobby is probably shopping.
So Neve's got the same hobby. Neve's got the same hobby.
I'm a professional shopper.
She's a professional Amazoner or a saucer.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Every day, Amazon. No, we could need like the smallest thing, and I'm like, oh, Amazon. I could pop to the shop. No, I'll go on Amazon. It'll feel like a present when it turns up.
I'm so guilty. I'm so guilty of it myself. Like, Amazon is just half our packing materials get ordered on Amazon, and I've got a contact for packing materials. I just go, I get sucked into a wee hole, and then I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is phenomenal, isn't it? Amazon as a business itself is just mind-blowing, completely mind-blowing. Just like the fact that Jeff started with nothing, literally nothing whatsoever, other than the fact he'd just taught himself on the internet, which was really new in 1994, 95. He had nothing. He was like, just like us, Chris, just a bit of a dream of owning a company. Now he's got 560,000 employees across the world.
And $1 billion.
And 100 and something billion. He's got his own space station. He started with nothing in his kitchen. It's crazy. It's such a good story.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's amazing, and it's crazy that Amazon are a company who are so dominant that the only people that can actually stop them at the moment is the government. Government interjection are the only thing that's going to slow those guys down, you know. So, but if one man can do it, another man can as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it gives everyone that realization that it can happen.
Yeah,
it is possible.
Awesome. So guys, just to wrap up before we sort of finish, this has been don't even know how long we've been talking, but I've really enjoyed this conversation. But where can anybody who's listening find out more about you guys?
The normal Facebook, Google, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not great on Twitter, but we're on Twitter. And hopefully we're quite well known anyway in the removals industry and in our local area.
And we got a new website, so you should check that out. It's had a revamp, isn't it? Yeah.
We started working with.
Yeah. Sorry for anybody who doesn't know, it's Warren's Removals and Warren's Elite.
Yeah. Sorry. Warren's Removals and Storage on Facebook and Warren's Removals on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can find us on there. Yeah, we've just started working with he's like an all-rounder really, like a business coach as well as a web developer. And he's sorted our website out.
He's got some great ideas for the website. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really good.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, look, actually, I want to chat to you about that off camera just afterwards, if that's okay, if time allows you guys. But look, Warren and Tash Leggett, thank you very much for coming on, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for the invite, mate.
It's
been great.